Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nati Teller. I am your host. I do have a co-host in the person of Tabang Matsena, who will be manning the chat group and making sure that in the event that there are questions that do come through, they are well attended to. Let me quickly outline the program for this evening. I will take you guys through a presentation, hopefully for about 40 to 45 minutes on the CIMA program, and then we shall zoom into what we know as the CGMA Finance Leadership Program. And then once we have covered that, then I will open up the floor for you guys to ask questions. You'll feel free to unmute yourself during that time, and you can ask any questions. Obviously, if questions do arise during the presentation, feel free to put your questions on the chat group, and Tabang will be kind to assist us to get to those questions. Otherwise, you can listen until the end, and then you'll be given the opportunity to ask questions. And we are not going to waste any time because we do know that some of us do have children that needs to be taken care of. Therefore, we'll get straight into the presentation, and whoever that is still coming, they'll find us along the way, okay? In terms of our agenda, as already indicated, we'll introduce you to the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy, tell you more about who we are and what exactly do we offer. And then we'll take you through the CIMA professional qualification, structure of the qualification, and then we'll talk about the finance leadership program. We'll tell you what makes us different, how do we actually support students who are interested to pursue the CIMA professional qualification, either through the standard route or the finance leadership program, and then we'll tell you more about the IMAS value proposition. As already indicated, my name is Nati or Nkosinati Christopher Teller. I am the founder and the CEO of the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy, having started the Institute way back in 2013. In the last 9 years we've been around, we have helped quite a number of students who came through having aspirations to qualify as chartered management accountants or chartered certified accountants, for those who were pursuing the ACCA qualification to actually obtain, you know, these globally recognized qualifications. We are very proud of our impeccable track record that we have achieved in the 9 years we've been around. Our pass rates ranks among the best in the world. We really compare ourselves with the global pass rates that CIMA normally releases on a quarterly basis. And I'm very happy to tell you that our pass rates do compare favorably compared to global pass rates, because CIMA does not actually publish local pass rates. They only publish global pass rates. Therefore, we often benchmark ourselves against the global pass rate. I also I'm a course coordinator for all the CIMA case studies. So some may refer to them as the CIMA board exams. I facilitate those. I used to teach, but I've since I left the teaching on the CIMA program, but I focus on the case studies. I do have a team that does the teaching for those who will be joining our classes. I have over 18 years of teaching and tutoring experiences, as well as in banking, costing, and management accounting. My last full-time corporate gig was at NetBank, where I was the head of group technology consolidation, costing, and transfer pricing, where I spent about 7 years. But before that, I'd worked for the likes of MTN, which is where actually in 2008 I was introduced to CIMA. And before MTN, I was with Rand Merchant Bank and Standard Corporate and Merchant Bank as well. But these days I spend my time here at IMAS, interacting with our full-time and part-time students and see how we can be able to assist them to realize their ambition of becoming professional accountants. That's me in a nutshell. In terms of who the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy is, we are an accredited institute by ACCA, which is the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. We are also accredited by CIMA, which is the Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, by FACET, which is the CETA that looks after the finance and accounting sector in our country. We are also accredited by QCTO, which is the arm of Department of Higher Education that looks after vocational training, as well as ICB. Therefore, we are not a fly-by-night institution. We've been around the block, and you can find us in all these esteemed bodies' websites, which will verify that these guys are not taking chances. They've gone through a rigorous process for them to be accredited. In terms of our vision as the Institute, we aspire to be a leading professional accountant training institute and business college in Africa, because we spent the first 7 years focusing on South Africa, and we believe on the Sema side, we were able to conquer, the Sema terrain in South Africa, which culminated to us becoming one of the leading Sema professional institute in the country, helping many to qualify. The work that we've done is acknowledged by both Sema and FACET, which has resulted in the last few years being awarded a number of projects by the CETA itself to actually train some of our unemployed graduates in the country so that they can pursue, our professional qualifications. Therefore, we are proud of the achievement we've been able to attain in the country, and hence now we want to actually make our presence felt across the African continent. And we have since diversified to offer more than just professional accountancy training. Now we offer business-related qualifications as well. And we've been able actually to achieve the #1 spot in South Africa by focusing on recruiting the best tutors or lecturers that are passionate about imparting knowledge to our students, who are really driven, who are motivated, who love what they do. We don't do what we do for money. We love what we do. And that is why some of us, we had to leave our corporate gigs, to really focus on making sure that we can educate, our nation and lead many to become professional accountants. But also because we fully understand that, when you study towards a global qualification like CIMA, it can be a challenge, it can be a lonely task at times. Therefore, we focus on providing excellent student support to our students in the form of having student liaison officers or student bodies that are always there to guide and handhold our students in terms of admin, because also the admin can be too much, especially when you're working professional, you have other commitments. Therefore, we are always there to assist, booking exams, making sure that we can schedule exams at the time that is more convenient for our students, but also guide, link our students to our team of lecturers, form strategic alliances with potential employers as well, because one of the things that set us apart from other institutions that offer the CIMA qualifications, that we also offer it on a full-time basis. We take kids coming straight from matric or graduates from the likes of UJ, vets, techies, NMUs to come and study with us on a full-time basis once they've graduated in order to obtain their professional qualifications. Therefore, it's very important that we can be able to link them with employment opportunities. We have a diverse team of lecturers that are either CIMA are qualified CAs. We've got also ACCAs, MBAs that are teaching at our school, because we offer quite a number of qualifications. Therefore, our team of lecturers are made up of full-time IMAS employed lecturers, as well as part-time employed lecturers that are out there in industry that teaches our part-time students or weekend and evening classes. We do have a diverse team of lecturers at the moment. In terms of the qualifications that we offer, I know that today we are talking about CIMA and FLP, but we do offer beyond just CIMA. We offer the ACCA professional qualification, ICP qualifications that will range from a diploma in financial accounting, diploma in business management, and the likes. Also, the number of QCTO business qualifications that we offer, including corporate training, to a number of blue chip companies that are listed and unlisted. In terms of how we deliver our classes, we offer our classes as already indicated on a full-time basis, targeting those who come straight from matric or who are graduates but who want to pursue their studies before entering the world of work. But also to cater for many of you guys who are employed, we do have what we call part-time and live online classes. The difference between our part-time classes and live online classes, our part-time, they are offered in our Braamfontein campus in the evenings as well as on weekends. Therefore, you can either attend evening classes midweek, Monday to Thursday. However, the frequency will be determined by the number of subjects that you are doing in a particular semester, okay? And these classes that we offer midweek get repeated on weekends because we do understand that some students are unable to attend midweek due to other commitments, but they are flexible in terms of attending on weekends. Therefore, we offer either or. You can choose between evening classes or you can attend on weekends here in Braamfontein. But for those of you guys who are unable to attend physical classes here in Braamfontein, these classes that we run here in Braamfontein, they are broadcasted live, okay, through our digital platforms. Therefore, you can be part of those classes utilizing then our digital platforms where you'll be given access. These classes, they are highly interactive. Okay, you can be able to ask questions. You can speak to our lecturer. You can ask him to stop. You can contribute to the discussion in class. Therefore, they are highly interactive because we know that since the dawn of COVID and the introductions of lockdowns, quite a number of us have become used to working from home. Therefore, we want to offer that flexibility to everybody who is not, able to come to Braamfontein and attend classes. But before COVID, we were running, contact classes in Cape Town, in PE, East London, Durban, in Sandton, and Pretoria. But then since, the dawn of COVID, we've decided to transition to live online classes to able to offer services to everybody who like to tap into our services, more especially given, the track record of getting many students to pass their exams. But if part-time and live online doesn't work for you, you can still enroll with us via our distance learning, which is supported and by our online student portal, loaded with pre-recorded lecture videos and notes. Why you should consider pursuing a professional qualification is because, number one, a professional qualification is different from an academic qualification in terms of focus. The focus, it's on making sure that we can equip you and empower you with the tools that you need in order to navigate the world of work. And that is very important. Whereas an academic qualification, sometimes, it's very theoretical in its approach. Whereas a professional qualification, it's very much focused on the world of work, focused on the skills and competences that employers out there are looking out for. And hence we are saying a professional qualification, it broadens your career opportunities. It adds credibility to your CV when a CFO position or a head of finance or a senior finance manager position is advertised and you are a CIMA a member, it brings another dimension into your CV. You get the respect of your colleague. When you stand out or when you stood up at work and you start speaking, people, they know this guy is a CIMA member. They start giving you that respect because they know what you are, what sort of training you will have gone through. That's the beauty of pursuing a professional qualification. It's the fact that it adds credibility to your CV. But number two, it expands your skill set. You will learn and acquire new skills. You'll be able to refresh and update your knowledge. Some of us may not have studied in the last 5 years, in the last 10 years. Some of us, the last time we studied, we knew leasings as operating lease and finance lease, operating lease being expense and finance lease being capitalized. But new IFRS statements have come up and have changed how we classify leases. And hence we speak about updating and refreshing some of the knowledge that you may have because you are a graduate. But there will be a lot of new skill sets that you will acquire as well when you pursue a professional qualification. As already indicated, the qualifications are extremely comprehensive. They are focused on empowering you with the necessary skills and competencies that are needed out there in order to navigate the world of work. Most importantly, professional qualification, it will boost your earning potential and result in you climbing the corporate ladder and occupying that corner office. I don't know how many corner offices are available out there because many organizations have gone, with a different structure in terms of sitting arrangement. It's more open plan. People now have that flexibility of working from home, but it still gives you that opportunity, to apply for that bigger role. Some of you guys, you may feel that you are being overlooked because maybe you're not a CASA, but the CIMA qualification will be able to open and unlock those opportunities for you. And I speak from a position of something that I've experienced. I share with some of my friends that, when I applied for some of the jobs I've held, they were looking for a CA. But I applied because, when you are pursuing a CIMA qualification, you get confidence, because the kind of training, the rigor that you had to go through. Therefore, there is no role too big for you. You'll apply for any role that you believe you are suited for. And I've occupied some of the best positions, in blue chip organizations because of the confidence that I get or I got from studying towards CIMA. And one of the most important aspects of studying towards a professional qualification is the fact that you will be committed to a culture of continuous professional development. And I like to show this picture because this picture characterizes, a car assembly line of yesterday. And when you try and contrast it with today's car assembly, which looks like this, it is characterized by robotics. Therefore, you can see that technology is having an impact, on how organizations are operating out there. Similarly, once you have acquired, the CASA qualification or the CIMA qualification or ACCA qualification, it's not the end. You have to commit to that culture of continuous professional development. And you'll see at the center, of the CIMA 2019 syllabus, you'll see there's quite a lot of content that generally will not be associated with the finance and accounting, or studies that has been brought in so that we are able to respond to the dynamic business environment that exists. And hence, then we need to understand that it doesn't just end with obtaining the qualification. By being a member, there are lots of webinars that are being hosted, lots of information sharing sessions that are being hosted. Last week, Monday, we had a member session, in Melrose, where we came together and we were able to share ideas as qualified CIMA members. And we need to be aware as well that the finance and accounting industry, or field or profession is changing. It is impacted by a number, of factors that are beyond our control as members, or as practicing, professionals. The world that we live in, which is continuously, changing at a fast pace. It's having an impact on those organizations that employs us, but ultimately it's having an impact on how we are able to deliver, on the expectations of our different stakeholders. Many of you guys will know that everybody today is talking about ESG, the impact of ESG on our organizations. If you are working for ESCOM, if you are a financier, hence then we've seen the likes of Standard Bank, the likes of Nedbank, coming out boldly saying, going forward, we will not be funding, some of our fossil fuel projects, which means now new coal mines may not be funded by our banks because of their impact on the environment. Therefore, it's the world that we're living in. And now we are expected to come to produce new types of reports that then now will measure, our employers or organizations' impact, on the environment, on issues around sustainability, on issues of governance, and so on. So this is impacting, the life of a finance and accounting professional. If we need to be aware of all of this, and the CIMA qualification is there to make sure that we are equipped with the necessary skills that are needed to be able to put together an integrated report, as an example. But also we need to understand that the world that we live in, it requires, strategic, forward-thinking professional accountants, not just accountants that are one-dimensional, but accountants that have, a combination of skills and competencies that goes beyond just the debits and credits. Guys that are able then to contribute to whatever discourse, to whatever debate, to whatever discussion that may be taking place, at work, be able to contribute positively, and all of these things, it says now, we can't just then train people that are good in putting together financial statements. We've got to equip you with beyond, the traditional finance and costing skills. That's what you'll see comes out of the CIMA qualification. But also you've got to understand the impact of disruptive technology, on the work that we do as accountants, the impact, of blockchain, on some of the mundane work that we do as accountants, the impact of process automation and robotics, artificial intelligence on the work that we do as accountants. And that's very important. And hence then now we've got to be aware of the drivers that are impacting on the lives and the work of finance and accounting professionals. Understand the impact of big data, data analytics and data visualization, how we can be able to present our reports as finance professionals in a manner that actually adds value, where we're able to take, huge volumes of data and summarize it by leveraging technology and present it to all the key stakeholders, at work. That's what we need to be aware of, colleagues. Therefore, Sema then was able then to produce a white paper titled Reinventing Finance for a Digital World, because Sema was aware that we're living in a time that we need to see to it that our finance and accounting professionals are aware of the emerging technologies, but also the sort of skills and competencies that are expected from them. And hence this paper, then it addresses some of the issues. And then this has been then now the catalyst, for the CIMA syllabus. At the center then of what informs the CIMA syllabus, colleagues, is what we call the CGMA competency framework. The CGMA competency framework, you'll see it focuses on 5 key competencies or skills. Number one, we still want to produce, a finance professional who possesses all the technical skills, somebody who can be able to put together a set of annual financial statements, somebody who can be able to do complex costing, somebody who can be able to do budgeting and forecasting, right? But still be able then now to bring in business acumen, be able to think like he or she is the CFO or is the CEO of the organization, by being able to display business acumen skills and not just respond, to an invoice and say, no, this was never budgeted, if I'm not going to respond to. What if it's a business imperative that we spend money that was never budgeted for? Because if we fail to do so, it may mean the end of the organizations, or a failure to respond to some of the competitive pressures that we are facing as an organization. And hence then now with the CIMA qualification, we want to see to it that we can be able to equip you with beyond the technical skills that give you the business acumen, so that you can even, climb the corporate ladder beyond just, in the finance department. You can be appointed head of strategy. You can be head appointed head of HR or head of marketing or head of business development. You can be the CEO of the organization. Once we've made sure that you possess the business acumen, then we focus on what we call people skills. Because organizations that we all know, the likes of Google, the likes of Tesla, some of the best organizations, the Amazons of this world, they are who they are because of the people that they employ. How do we bring out the best of our people? But then now we equip you with the skills which can enable you to lead people, in your organization, to bring up the best out of your people in your organization. We then look at leadership skills. Before you can lead an organization, you need to be able to lead self, lead a team, lead a department, and eventually lead an organization. Therefore, we focus on leadership skills. You will see that at the center now of the CIMA 2019 syllabus is what we call the digital skills. I've made mention of some of the disruptive technologies that are impacting our organizations and also the finance and accounting profession. The blockchains of this world, the artificial intelligence, the robotics, and advanced technologies. Therefore, we then focus on making sure that you can understand the impact of these technologies on your employer or your organization. But number two, on the work that you ought to be doing, in those companies where you are employed. Therefore, that's what you need to fully understand. Okay, we focus on digital skills. That's what the syllabus actually aims to do. But underpinning all of this is the need to ensure that we have professionals that possess the highest degree of ethics, integrity, and professionalism. That's what actually the CIMA qualification focuses on. There are many stories in our own country that we know of, right? That involve some of our fellow professionals who were caught with their hands in the cookie jar. It becomes important that we continuously preach the gospel of making sure that you, as a professional, you remain ethical and you possess the highest, a degree of integrity and professionalism. Because for you to obtain that professional qualification, you have to work hard. If you cannot just let a 10 rand, lose focus. And these things are very important, colleagues. Therefore, now for the benefits of those who are not yet registered with CIMA, who may not know structure of the CIMA qualification, I will then take you through the structure of the CIMA qualification, and then we'll shift and speak about FLP. But this is how the CIMA qualification is actually structured. It has 4 levels, but these 4 levels are broken down into 2. For the 2 levels is what we call the CIMA certificate in business accounting. But this is a level for somebody who do not possess a post-matric qualification in accounting or finance-related studies. If you're an engineer, this is where you will generally start. You'll start at the CIMA certificate level. Or if you only have a grade 12, you'll start at the CIMA certificate level. It has 4 subjects: the fundamentals of business economics, fundamentals of management accounting, fundamentals of financial accounting, as well as fundamentals of ethics, corporate governance, and business law. You do these 4 subjects. You can take 2 subjects in a semester and then another 2 in another semester, so that then within space of 12 months, you can complete this particular level. Once you have obtained this level, then you proceed to what we call the CIMA professional qualification. CIMA professional qualification is broken down into operational level, management level, as well as strategic level. Okay. Therefore, it's very important then that you also look at the 3 pillars that then drives the CIMA professional level. You'll see that the CIMA professional level is what we call the finance pillar, the greenish pillar, and the turquoise pillar is what we call the performance pillar, and then the bluish pillar is what we call the enterprise pillar. And this is what sets CIMA apart and from other professional accountancy qualifications. It's its ability to bring in this enterprise pillar. Okay. If you look at the finance pillar, which is what many of you guys could be familiar with. It's your financial reporting pillar, more especially during the first two levels, in the operational level and the management level. We're focusing on the reporting. So the distinction then between financial reporting and advanced financial reporting is that when it comes then to financial reporting, we look at certain IFRS statements as well as your IAS statements. But 20% of financial reporting then looks at taxation. Okay. Whereas when you look at advanced financial reporting, then we look at the remaining IFRS statements and IAS statements that were not covered in financial reporting, but also 20% of the syllabus, then we start introducing financial management. That's what we do. It makes sense. And when I come to the TECOS pillar, therefore, we've got management accounting. Here we are focusing on short-term decision-making within an organization. We're focusing on different costing systems, be it absorption costing, throughput accounting, costing system, digital costing. Obviously, we have to bring in now digital costing because we are operating in a digital world. We're no longer building just widgets like it used to be. We are building apps. How do we also account for such? We're building softwares. Therefore, digital costing is one of the new area of focus. We also then focus on budgeting and forecasting. Okay, that's what we cover in management accounting. As when we go to advanced management accounting, then now we shift and we start looking at medium to long-term decision making. We start looking at performance management. We start looking more especially divisional performance management. We're looking at a project appraisal. We then introduce a pricing strategy as well as transfer pricing, including then a bit of introduction to risk management. That's what advanced management accounting looks at. Then when you come to the enterprise pillar, we leave the technical aspects of accounting. We then focus on the organization. The first paper being managing finance in a digital world. Therefore, what we look at here, subject known as E1, we look at the organization, how an organization is run, the governance that needs to be put in place, structures that could be used, whether it's a functional structure or it's divisional structure and so on. And on top of that, then we start building and looking at the different disruptive technologies and their impact on organizations. What we look at, and then once we've looked at these different disruptive technologies, we look at disruptive technologies and their impact on the life of a finance and accounting professional. What we look at, and then this then take us now to look at data, the importance of data, okay, and how data can be used to drive, a business decision. And then last, in this very same paper, we look at how finance interacts with information technology and information systems, how finance interacts with sales and marketing, with human resources, as well as operations. That's what this paper looks at. Therefore, I've covered the 3 papers at operational level. The exams for these 3 papers, they are on demand. You can write anytime you are ready. The exams are computer-based. And then what you also need to understand, the results are released immediately after writing your exam. Your exam is 90 minutes long. Then upon passing and completing these particular 3 subjects, then you write your first board exam, or what we know as the operational case study. 6 to 7 weeks before this exam, CIMA will issue or publish a case study, which then as the Institute of Management, Accounting and Strategy will help you to analyze. And then we go through mock exams so that you can prepare well in advance, and then you proceed and write the exam. But I'll come back and tell you more about these case studies. Then the next level, I've touched on these 2 subjects. For now, I want to touch on E2, which is managing performance. So here we continue to focus on business. Therefore, here we start looking at different business models. Look at digital business models. We look at how business models are used by organizations, obviously, to gain a competitive advantage and make money in their chosen market. And then we look at how organizations could use then these disruptive technologies that we've introduced here to drive new business models, okay, or to respond to some competitive pressures that they are facing. Then we spend quite a lot of time then looking at the role of people within an organization, looking at human resources and how it will actually be used to strategically position an organization. We look at how we build team cohesiveness, how to ensure that an organization can have, you know, a team that has multi-skills, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. That's what we look at. And then we introduce project management as a tool to deliver different projects within an organization, whether we are thinking of putting a new ERP system or whether we are deciding to launch in a new country. How can we use project management as a tool to successfully deliver a number, you know, of projects that an organization will be embarking on? Okay, therefore, you write once again these 3 subjects, just like it was the case at operational level. You can write these exams anytime you are ready. The exams are computer-based. You can write them in an exam center, or you can write them from the comfort of your own home. Upon passing these 3 subjects, then you write what we call a management case study. If you're a member of CIMA, okay, you could be exempted to start with a management case study. Or if you hold a master's in accounting, then you could also be allowed to start at management case level, okay? Then the final level is what we call the strategic level. It also has 3 subjects. However, when you're looking at the financial pillar, we're no longer focusing on financial reporting, but we're focusing on financial strategy. We're looking at how an organization, you know, articulate its financial objectives and then go about fulfilling those objectives through formulating, you know, financial strategy. Therefore, we look at how an organization will find an optimum capital structure, funding itself through debt and equity, you know, and then devising a dividends policy, looking at how an organization will then embark on mergers and acquisition, how they should be financing mergers and acquisition. And then we spend the last part looking at financial risk, whether it is interest rate risk or currency risk. Therefore, we introduce the concepts of hedging and so on. That's what financial strategy looks at. And then this subject here called risk management. And risk management, we're focusing on all other risks that impacts an organization outside of financial risk. You can think about business risk, technology risk. Today, everybody's speaking about cybersecurity risk. You know what I mean? Therefore, that's what we're looking at. Corporate governance risk, you know, internal controls, making sure that you put, you know, the necessary internal controls. How do you put together an internal audit function as part of your internal controls? You'll see that in CIMA, there is no subject called auditing, because CIMA does not focus on auditing, but we use aspects of auditing for ensuring that the organization has successful and effective internal controls, okay? That's what we look at here. And then lastly, the subject we call strategic management. Here we're looking at how do you formulate, you know, organizational strategy, how do you implement organizational strategy, be it a business strategy or digital strategy, and then how does an organization deal with change? How do you ensure that you can have a successful, efficient, and effective supply chain strategy as well? That's what we cover in E3. Many of you guys will have heard, you know, of supply chain disruptions that are causing some of the high prices that we are witnessing today in the automotive industry. They're talking about escalating car prices as a result of shortage of chips. Therefore, your supply chain strategy becomes very important. Write the 3 subjects, you pass them, and you write the final board exam known as the strategy case study. Therefore, colleagues, this is how the CIMA qualification is structured. Upon completing the strategic case study, then you are able then to submit, you know, a portfolio of evidence that you do possess a minimum of 3 years relevant experience. And once CIMA has evaluated that, and you will be awarded the CIMA membership, be it ACMA, FCMA, or CGMA, depending on your experience. Initially, people get the ACMA as well as the CGMA designation. Obviously, as you acquire more experience, then you can also apply for the FCMA designation. This is the structure of the CIMA qualification, colleagues. I hope it does make sense. Just one thing I want to mention on the structure of the CIMA qualification is the fact that, as I mentioned, that the individual exams can be written anytime you are ready. Obviously, at IMAS, we do have a timetable that speaks to when do we start classes and what should be the date you are aiming for to write your exams. Because sometimes when you leave students, to decide by themselves when they should write exams, they procrastinate forever, they never write exams. But ours is to be there for you, guide you, help you so that you can be able to complete this qualification as quick as possible. However, what you need to understand is that when it comes to the case studies are not written anytime you are ready. There are certain windows per annum that you can use to write your exam. In an annual basis, there are 4 windows. There's one in February, another one in May, there's one in August, as well as November. Therefore, these are 4 windows. But what you need to understand is that CIMA does publish the case studies, as I've already indicated. Therefore, how it works with the case studies that get published is that the case study that is used for the May exam is also used for the August exam. For an example, we had some of our students sitting for the May exam, awaiting their results, which will be coming end of June, first week of July. Therefore, the same students or the same case study that was used in May will also be used for August. Similarly, the case study that is used in November will be used for February next year. And for each window, there are 3 days that students can choose from in terms of when to write the exam. The exams are normally written on a Wednesday to Friday. You only choose one day to sit for the exam. The exam, unlike the individual exams, okay, this exam is 3 hours long. You will recall that I said the individual exams or the subject-based exams are 90 minutes long, and they are largely multiple choice. But this then will be like a written exam that obviously simulate, a real life working environment. And hence the case study get published well in advance, 6 to 7 weeks, where they give you a particular company and they tell you what is your role in that company. And then come exam day, you are presented, with a number of questions. I kindly ask those who have unmuted themselves to remain muted, colleagues. Thank you so much. Therefore, that speaks then to the CIMA qualification. Yes, Taba?
If you can just close to me so that I can mute.
Thank you. I think I've done that. Huh? Therefore, colleagues, many of you guys may have come across what is known as an FLP. Therefore, now I'm going to take you guys through the FLP program. Therefore, the FLP, which is known as the Finance Leadership Program, is an alternative route to obtaining the CGMA or the ACMA designation. In terms of the content that it covers, okay, it is the same as what I have presented here. It is exactly the same. The content is the same. What is different, colleagues? It's how the content is then examined, more especially when it comes to the individual subject. Therefore, you will recall what I said, colleagues. I said when you are studying, let's say you're at the operational level, you'll have to sit for the individual exams. These papers will have plus minus, let's say, between 12 and 16 chapters. Therefore, we take you through the different subjects at the end to write an exam. However, when it comes to the FLP, therefore what CIMA has done, they have removed the individual exams. Okay? They've removed the individual exams and they have replaced the individual exams with assessments. And the way these assessments work is that you do a chapter, for an example, you do a chapter, you do an assessment. Like the assessment will have like between 3 and 5 questions. And then you proceed to the next chapter. Therefore, now, how is this beneficial? Is that you don't have to wait until you've done 12 to 16 chapters to write one big exam. Therefore, there is continuous assessment. Therefore, that's the major difference. But the other aspect that you need to understand about the FLP program is that Sema has designed an online platform, which I will take you through, colleagues. They have designed an online platform. And therefore, this platform, in essence, then it has an online study material. And this online study material will be then given access to by IMAS, because you can't get access by yourself. We give you access to that CIMA platform, okay? And then from there, you will be able to read or to learn from that platform. And then as you learn on that platform, there are built-in assessments. And then upon reading, you do an assessment. And then you are able then to proceed to the next topic, to the next topic, to the next topic. Before you know it, you are done with the F1 subject, for an example. You do now the reading for the next topic, be it T1 and E1 and so on and so forth. But you are also able to read across and then do this assessment as you go along. For many of you guys who are familiar with the CIMA syllabus, you will know that with the standard route where you write the individual exams at the end, what happens if you are unsuccessful? Then you have to pay an exam fee, because for every CIMA exam that you write on the standard route, you pay for every exam that you sit for. Therefore, now it means if you are unsuccessful, you must top up and pay an exam fee. Some students, they pass these exams on first attempt. But the average student, for an example, they will pass an E1 on first attempt. That's the average student. An average student will write P1 maybe twice or 3 times, and I've seen people who write 6 times. Therefore, for every time then you write, you make a payment. F1, you find that average students can pass F1 on first attempt, but some they write it twice. Therefore, now you've got to think about the cost implication. Every time you write this exam and you are unsuccessful, then you pay that exam fee. Therefore, it ends up adding up to the cost. Right, that's the second element that you need to understand, is that within the FLP, you don't have this big exam. But number 2, even when you take this end of chapter assessment, if you do not pass the assessment, you can attempt this assessment as many times as you want, but there is no additional fee. That's what you need to understand. I hope it makes sense. On the other side, it's then the cost involved on the standard route versus then the FLP. The way these programs are costed is different, because the FLP program, it is a premium program, which is meant to help you to proceed and complete the CIMA qualification as fast as you can. You can determine your own speed, and that's what you need to understand. But then we are there to make sure that we can give you the necessary assistance that you require. Therefore, I will be able to take you guys through the platform first before I proceed and tell you more about what we call the FLP. But I want to just show you and give you the feel of how the platform actually looks like and how it works. More especially for those who have already studying CIMA, you will see what is the big difference, you know, when it comes to this particular platform. I'll just share my screen shortly. But if you do have a question at any given point in time, feel free to just drop it on the platform. We'll be able to assist you accordingly. As I whilst I'm trying to share my screen, maybe I will just follow. To give you some heads up. IMAS website. You will see how the platform works.
Right now, you have the opportunity to do just that with the CGMA Finance Leadership Program. The program prepares you to earn the CGMA designation and take your seat at the decision-making table. Held by over 150,000 professionals from top companies around the globe, the CGMA designation showcases advanced proficiency in operations, strategy, and management. The CGMA Finance Leadership Program takes a personalized approach to help you become a finance leader. You'll begin your learning journey at the entry point that's right for you. Your journey is then customized to fit your schedule and meet your goals. From how much you want to accomplish in a week, to how quickly you can earn your designation. Competencies focus on real-world scenarios with new frameworks and tools you'll immediately apply in the workplace. Knowledge checks gauge your understanding along the way, while I can statements help you articulate new skills. Timed business simulation assessments reinforce what you've learned. And the system identifies material you should review again to ensure mastery. As you complete each competency, the employer report provides an opportunity to share your progress, highlight accomplishments, and discuss applying new skills to your current job. Next, prepare for the exam experience with the Case Study Preparation course. Designed to mirror the official case study exam, you'll receive a business case to review and assignments to submit. Personalized feedback from our experts ensures you're ready to pass the real thing and move closer to obtaining your CGMA designation. Take the first step toward becoming a finance leader. Visit cgma.org today to learn more.
Oh, it's just to give you a taste of how the platform actually looks like. But maybe one of the questions that somebody may be asking is to say, does it mean then it is no longer a case study as we know it, you know, today? The case study is still there. The case studies will not change regardless of whether you are on the standard route or the FLP. Therefore, we all still have to write the case study as we know it. It gets released in advance and so on. However, what you need to be aware of is that it's just the individual exams that have now been changed, such that then now you don't have to write all of these individual exams as they are known to many of you guys who have studied and registered with CIMA before. But you can still be able then to go through the very same material, and write assessments on a bite size. That's just the major difference. But number two, the other difference has to do with the pricing. As I've indicated, that the CGMA, it's quite a pricey a project or program. Let me just illustrate how actually the price differs, right? So that you can have a good understanding. And I will also then answer the question of, if now you were registered with CIMA, so somebody says, I was registered in 2019 and therefore I stopped studying. Therefore, if, for an example, you want to transition from the, what we call the standard route to the what we call the FLP program, what you need to be aware of, how can you transition? Because it is possible for you to transition, okay? But let's look at the cost of the program. Therefore, normally, how it works with the normal standard route, let's say you're studying here at IMAS. You initially pay your CIMA registration. Hopefully you can see my screen. You pay your CIMA registration, and then you pay your tuition fee. Therefore, you'll see at the operational level, if you assume that somebody's doing operational level, you have 3 subjects. Therefore, each subject you pay 6,250, and then there are 3 subjects. Therefore, you need to now bear in mind that there are 3 subjects. Therefore, we come back here, and there are 3 subjects. Therefore, it's 18,750. Then you have the individual subject exam. If it's about 2,200, the 3 of them 6.6. We have the operational case study 3.8. For IMAS in preparing students, then for the case study exam, we have what we call a case study workshop, which is 5,500. Then ultimately, your fees becomes 34,650. This now assumes that you'll go write all your exams and pass on first attempt. Okay, therefore you'll be able to pay 34,600. However, we know from experience that some students may need to rewrite, let's say maybe 1 subject and rewrite the case study. Therefore, now if you add those rewrite fees, therefore the fees end up in 40,650. But obviously, if you keep on failing 1 subject, therefore it adds up to the cost. That's just one thing you need to be aware of, with 40,600. However, if you choose the FLP program, therefore what you need to know about the FLP is that you can choose to either purchase a 1-year subscription fee or a 2-year subscription fee or a 3-year subscription fee. And this amount is payable in advance before you are given access to the platform. A 1-year subscription fee is 45,000. Okay? But what you also need to understand is that if you compare the 45,000 with the standard fees of 34,650, therefore the standard route looks cheaper. But the standard route assumes that you will not fail any subject. That's just the one thing you need to understand. But if then now you fail a subject and it adds, for an example, let's say you write a P1 twice, therefore, and then you write F1 twice. If it means now you must take into account that you must have 4,400 rewrite fees. Therefore, you're sitting at 42,850. However, if you had a case, a 1-year subscription for 45,000 Rand here at IMAS, therefore this 1-year subscription will give you access then to that operational level via the CIMA platform. But number 2, you'll be able to attend the IMAS class, because the CIMA platform, it has the material that you can read. it has limited lecture videos, and in some instances, in some topics, and no lecture videos. Therefore, our lecturers here at IMAS are able then to take you through the content. Therefore, that's what you need to understand. Obviously, that benefit is available if you're doing the standard route, but similarly, when you're doing the FLP, okay, the beauty is that if you're doing the FLP, you're not going to write this one big exam. But number two, if you had purchased a 1-year subscription, you can take, let's say, 5 months to finish the operational level. Because you still have access to the FLP platform because you purchase a 1-year subscription, you can then proceed to the management level on the Sema platform and be able then to take the 3 subjects at management level without having to make an additional payment. And then you go through the material for the 3 subjects and write a different assessment within that particular 1-year subscription. Then what happens if you complete the management assessment? Now it means you can write the management case study within a year. The only difference is that the 1-year subscription only includes 1-level case study. What does that mean? If you are starting at operational level, you'll be able within that 45,000 to sit for the operational case study. But you can learn the material for management. But if you want to write a management case study, now you have to add the 3,800 to write, okay, for the management level, the case study, it is 4,000 Rand. And then you add the 4,000, you write that case study. And maybe if you want help from IMAS to take you through the case study workshop, therefore you're just adding the 9,500. That's all you can add. You know what I mean? Therefore, that's what you need to understand. Whereas if you had gone through the standard route, you went from operational level, you pay 34, assuming that you're a good student who doesn't fail. And when you move to the management level, you'll pay then 39,350. Therefore, now you can see that the total then can end up being 74,000, okay, to do the 2 levels. Whereas you can do that 45,000 if you need to do the case study at management level, just pay this additional amount. It still work out cheaper than the standard route, 54,500. That's what you need to be aware of. The other thing you can do with the FLP colleagues, you can say, you know what, I'm not going to write a case study at the moment. I purchased for myself a 1-year subscription. I'm going to start doing all the assessment at operational level and proceed and do all the assessment at management level and do all the assessment at strategic level within a year. Obviously, you must be a serious, self-driven, highly disciplined student to be able to do that. It is possible with discipline. Therefore, that's the 45,000. You can do all these assessments. Then once you are done, then you just write the 1 case study at operational level within that amount. And then the next thing that you just need to do are the different case studies at management level and strategic level. That's what you can do. Alternatively, you can purchase a 2-year subscription for 75,000. If you pay a 2-year subscription, what will be included? It's 2 levels. Some of you guys will be starting at management level. Therefore, it covers the entire management level. Okay. Therefore, you get access to that platform, and you will get access to the IMAS help, the IMAS lectures, the IMAS classes. Within that 2 years, you will be able, let's say you are doing management level, you'll do the management as well as strategic classes. Whereas if you bought a 1-year subscription, what you're going to get is the access to the Sima platform and 1-level support from IMAS, because it's a 1-year subscription. That's what you need to be aware of. But the beauty of the FLP is that you can be able to go through the Sima professional qualification quicker, because now they've removed the individual exams. And for those of you guys who are already studying Sima, you'll know how many times you may have, you had to sit, let's say, for individual exams. Unless you're one of those driven students who pass every exam on first attempt. You know what I mean? Therefore, you've got to understand. But what we are also showing you is that if you taking the traditional route. The traditional route, if you bring all three subjects, all three levels, and you never fail a subject, it will cost you about 117,250. Okay, that's how much it will cost you. But you can also then choose to purchase a 3-year subscription, which will cost you 100,000. You pay this amount up front, therefore you have access to the platform, access to IMAS teaching, support and lecturers for 3 years. In essence, that's what you need to be aware of. The other aspects I need to also mention, if you go write a case study here and you are unsuccessful on the traditional route, to resit for that case study, you pay the additional case study fee. But on the FLP, if you chose the 1-year subscription and you go write your operational case study and you are unsuccessful, the resit fee is already included on the 45,000. Similarly, if you had chosen the 2-year subscription, it means, in essence, there will be 2 exam sittings for operational level in case you are not successful, and also for management you can sit twice before having to pop up extra money. That's what you need to understand. And if you went with a 3-year subscription, it means now you are allowed to sit and fail operational, there is a receipt. Management, there is a receipt. Strategic, there is a receipt. You know what I mean? Therefore, that's what you need to be able to understand. Now, what happens? I saw Kanyisile Mbata earlier, one of my management case study students who's waiting for a result. Therefore, let's say, Kanyisile, you are interested in moving to FLP, right? What is the impact on you now as a CIMA student? Therefore, you waiting for your management case study coming out in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. Let's say they come out positive, you have passed, right? Therefore, you are able to transition to the FLP by way of then saying to CIMA, I've completed my operational and management, but I want to do strategic under FLP. I'm going to purchase for myself the 1-year subscription. CIMA then will give you exemptions, for the operational and management level, in essence. Therefore, you're able to do the strategic level under FLP. What happens if, let's say, Lindy, I don't know how far are you, Lindy, but let's say Lindy's staying at management level, she has passed E2 and F2, but she's battling with P2. She can transition to the FLP program, and then she will only go through the individual topics for P2 and do the mini assessment and write a case study and be able to proceed to the strategic level under the FLP platform. You are unable to move from FLP to the standard route. You can move from the standard route to the FLP route. That's the one thing you need to be aware of. I hope it makes sense. Okay. I don't know if there are any questions that you like to raise at this particular point.
Mr. T,
Yes.
before you take questions, can you touch on the SAICA to Sema?
Okay, cool. Thanks, Taban. Therefore, our colleagues, Sema and SAICA have revised their partnership. Many of you guys will know that in the past, the agreement was that if you are a Sema member, you want to obtain the CASA qualification, you had to write part 1 of the board exams of SAICA, which is what is known as ITC. Okay, that's what you needed to do. Number 2, you needed to go and get SAICA articles. Upon completing the SAICA articles, then you become a CASA, even if you didn't have the CTA. That's the first. But now they've changed the agreement. They are saying, if you are a CIMA member, you qualified as a CIMA member, and you want to transition to become a CASA, you no longer have to write the ITC exam, which is the part 1 of the board exam of SAICA. You only need to write the part 2 of the board exam, which is called ATC. You don't need to get CICA articles anymore. Upon passing that APC exam, you are now a CASA. That's what you need to fully understand. On the other side, if you are a CASA, you want to do the CGMA, or you want to obtain the CGMA designation, you only write the strategic case study exam. Okay, that's what you need to understand. Okay, that's how much will it cost you if you're a CA, you want to do the CGMA designation. It is 69,000 Rand. That's how much it's going to cost. Alternatively, you can buy a 1-year subscription on the FLP platform and pay 45,000. The difference now is that instead of just only writing a strategic case study, you will have to go through the different assessments. That's what you need to be aware of. I hope it makes sense to us. But quickly, before I take more questions, colleagues, this is how the CIMA platform looks like. Hopefully you can see my screen. Did I share the right screen? Let's check. So this is how it will look like. For me, I have access. This is my platform. In your case, it will be your name. Therefore, I have access to the strategic level. Okay, this is a demo platform. Okay, therefore, if you're doing management, you'll be able to see the management and so on. Therefore, what you do, you come here under competencies. Therefore, now they will say, these are the competencies that you need to pass. Okay, you'll see I wrote one just to us having a look and feel of the platform. So these will be the competencies, but otherwise these are subjects or they are topics or chapters under E3, the blue ones. For competitive advantage, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and digital strategy. And then the orangish one will be topics under T3. And then the turquoise one will be topics under F3. But then how it works, you then come to here, you click under learning. Okay, so it's going to open what I last did. Okay, therefore it will open the learning material. Therefore, as you can see, so this will be the learning material. You know what I mean? It'll take you through, you read. There's a brief video for this particular topic. Okay, take you through and explain, you go through that. And then once you've gone through some topics, then there is like your knowledge check. You can choose, let's say you think the answer is B, then you go submit. This is not the assessment, this is just to assess. If it says, no, your answer is wrong, you need to retake, you know, and you can click retake as an example. Okay. Then you click retake, then it will refresh this thing, then you say D, then you go submit. Then it says, your answer is still wrong. Then it explains why D is wrong. Therefore, you learn through the platform, right? Therefore, let's just continue. You can retake as many times, right? Therefore, you come in, you read, you go through the material, you read. The difference that now, instead of me giving you a textbook, the textbook is this platform that is online. So you do the next one, knowledge check after reading, then you do that. And then you can drag and drop. For an example, here, you think this topic belongs there, this belongs, and then you submit once again. You know what I mean? And then you can click next once you are done. And let's say you click next, now it opens what? The assessment. You say, we've gone through this topic, here is the assessment. But before you can do the assessment, obviously you are expected to have done and completed these test your knowledge or your knowledge check that are built in there as well. And then it's another way of teaching you. If, for an example, you don't get the answers right, then it will tell you, this is the reason why you don't get it right, you know, and that's how you do it. And the beautiful thing about this platform then is that in some of the topics, for an example, if you come back here, you're like, okay, I want to come here. Let's just come back here. And then you look under the first topic. Under the first topic, you can see that there are 3 topics. Then you say, okay, I was just doing the first topic. I want to do competitor analysis. You come in under competitor analysis. The system, sometimes then it asks you to do a pre-assessment. If you feel like you know this topic, You can do the assessment upfront before even reading, then enabling you to go through some of these topics as quick as possible, more especially when you feel like, you know what, I'm competent in this topic. Okay, that's what you need to understand about the platform. This is the FLP. Everything is digital. Obviously, IMAS has classes, and therefore you'll be able to attend the classes, we're able to break down the topics, more especially when it comes to subjects that are more computational, your P2s, your F2s, your P3s and your F3. You know, it makes sense. You come through for classes, you attend these classes, and our lecturers can break down some of the concepts. Then you only come here, you just do the knowledge check, and you do the assessment, then you move on. That's what you can be able to do. And then there will be a dashboard that will tell you how many topics have you done this week. You know, it gives you to say this week you've done nothing. Therefore, you had set the goal of doing 6 topics a week. Therefore, you are lagging behind. Therefore, what we will then do as IMAS, we'll give you the schedule, and then we'll be able to monitor. When we see that you are falling behind, we call you. We're saying, Lindy, we see that you are falling behind. Is there any topic that is giving you difficulty? You say, yes, I'm struggling with throughput costing as an example. If we say, but you know, on the IMAS student portal, there's a video on throughput costing. Please go through this video. If you're still struggling, we can get a lecturer to give you a call at a time that is convenient to the two of you guys, then he will clarify the issues. You know, we will be able to monitor how you are proceeding and be able to guide you and give you the necessary support that you need. That's what you need to understand. Which route do I prefer? Between the standard route and the FLP route, to me, it depends on your pocket. If you have the money, because at IMAS, what happens then with our students are able to, on the standard route, they're able to finance their fees via a debit order system, which means now, if you don't have all this big money upfront, IMAS says you can attend our classes and you can pay biggie, or gradually via a debit order. You know what I mean? If you are not registered with Sema, therefore, what we are saying to you, as IMAS, you need to fill up our online application form, pay a registration fee of 2,100, okay? Then within 10 days, your exemptions will be completed, because if you have a diploma, you have a degree, you are eligible for exemptions. Similarly, even if you want to do FLP, you will be eligible for exemptions. If you are not doing the FLP and you're doing the standard route, we'll give you a quotation. If you are doing the FLP, you have seen the different routes or the different subscription fees. You will give you an invoice, a quotation, you get your employer to pay, or if you are funding your own fees. But obviously, if you want to do the standard route, there is a debit order payment available to you, where you can pay your fees, you know, over a period of 4 to 6 months. But the problem with the FLP, Sema wants its money upfront, all of it. You know, that's what then becomes a bit tricky with regards to the FLP. But we have seen in the last few weeks, a number of students have taken up on the FLP and they were able to raise money. But we do not want to close the door for those who are unable to pay this money. We always recommend the standard route. And through the standard route, IMAS has helped many to qualify as CGMA. So it's up to you. And we offer classes, as I've indicated before, that we run classes midweek and on weekends, either via part-time contact classes or via digital platforms where our classes are hosted via Zoom as well. Therefore, there is a minimum of 12 to 16 contact classes per subject, and then we run 2 full days of revision per subject, and then we run mock exams, and then you go and write your own exam once you have attended the revision. We have a timetable where we recommend certain exam dates. We don't say, don't write your exams whenever you're ready. We are there to guide you and support. Any questions? Among any questions that have been raised on the chat group that you'd like me to unpack?
Yes, it's 3 of them. The other one is on FLP. It says, if you're unable to complete within your subscribed year, what happens?
Okay.
And then the other
Okay, let me just answer that. Obviously, like the way it should work is that within a year, you must aim to complete the different assessments. If you have completed the assessments, but you have not completed your case study, it means now you just have to pay the case study fee to sit for that case study.
Can you be able to complete multiple case studies within a year?
Can, but it takes discipline. You can be able, for an example, let's say you chose the FLP program, even if you're doing the standard route. But let's start with FLP. If you paid the 1-year subscription, and therefore you paid the 45,000, therefore it starts, let's say, on the 1st of July. It means you have access to the platform until next year, 30th of June. Therefore, the way the IMAS timetable for the second semester runs, the classes start on the 4th of July. The aim is to help you to sit for the case study in February next year. And then now, whilst you are waiting for your results, right, to be released end of March, you can proceed on the FLP, even though your results are not out, and take a different assessment for the next level. Your subscription is not expired. And when your results comes out end of March, guess what? You have passed the exam that you wrote in February. Then it means now you are eligible to write what? A May case study before your subscription can finish. Therefore, the only thing that you'll do, just pay the case study fee. That's what you need to be aware of. Therefore, it means if you are driven under 1-year subscriptions, you can do 2 levels, but you need to be very disciplined. If you understand that route, same, you can be able to write multiple case studies in a year. It takes only discipline. A timetable does allow for you to proceed as quick as you can with the support of our lecturer. Another question, Taba?
You can answer the last one that was repeated there again from Lunoabo, asking if I must do assist with PER.
Yes, and Lunoabo, if you need assistance with the PER, we're happy to send you the documents. We're happy to guide you in terms of how to put together the CV that Sema wants. We're happy to coach you. I'm very much, available to guide you through that. Okay, I see there's a question from Frank. The assessment after the knowledge checks, is it the exam for the individual subject? It is an assessment that tests now the topics that you will have covered. Okay, as I indicated, now we are testing everything in smaller sizes. It's about 4 to 5 questions. And if you get those questions wrong, it tells you, it gives you a hint to say, this is the hint to get this question right. It says retake, and you retake, then you can get it right. Yeah. Is the PER assistance at a cost? If you're an IMAS student, I will not charge you. We just book time on our diaries, then I'm able to guide you accordingly. Lubabalo Macapella, I see. I'm not going to charge you for assisting you with the PER. Okay. And then there was another question around somebody from college, these FET colleges at Taba. I saw a question on that. Maybe the person, guys, feel free to unmute and just ask the questions, please, if your question has not been answered. You can also just raise your hand and then we'll be happy to take the question. And Nozipo, over to you.
Hi, I'm just checking here. I know Tabang has already responded. I'm just checking, looking at the CICA Sema agreement. So from Sema to CICA, it says, in addition to what Sema membership, you also need to have passed, let me see, I think it's the CICA professional program.
Yes.
So my view is that isn't that a CTA?
No, it is not. Therefore, for an example, a CA coming to Sema has to attend a program that is run by us. You see, therefore, what then CICA has done is to say, if you are from Sima to CICA, you need to enroll for an APC program. Therefore, how it works currently, it's offered by 3 institutions. It's UCT, it's UJ, and Endunamo. Therefore, even the guys that are doing articles at Passport 1, these 3 organizations issues them with an APC certificate, which is not then something special for Sima people. It's just an APC certificate that says you have gone through the program. Because they're trying to avoid a situation where somebody says to CICA, I want to write the APC without having gone through preparations. I hope I'm answering you, Nosipo.
Okay. So it means I'm just thinking in terms of someone that doesn't have CTA, but you've just got any honors degree and you've done the CIMA route. So in terms, I'm just concerned in terms of competencies, you know, things like audit and tax, I might not have gotten them.
Can I tell you something, my sister? I'm sorry to cut you. The APC is less technical. It's a case study as well. It's similar to our strategic case study. I've gone through it. I've gone through the material. I looked at the 20 exam. I was like, I would have passed this thing with my eyes closed. CIMA people will nail that paper. I can tell you now. It's not technical, it's no audit. You know what I mean? Therefore, that is why then is the APC program. You know what I mean? It's like what the CAs will go through in terms of attending the strategic classes with IMAS. We go through something similar as well called the APC program. But I can tell you, having gone through it, I know I'm slightly advantageous. I've been teaching for a while, but I can tell you now, CIMA people will nail that paper with their eyes closed.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thanks.
Yes, and Sakumzi, to your question, there is no proctor. There is nobody who's looking after you when you're doing the FLP questions. You just do it by yourself. And that is why there was a debate somewhere overseas to say people can get anybody to write, you know, the assessment for them. The truth of the matter, I spoke about the need to have professional accountants with ethics, with integrity and professionalism. You can do it with your open book. Nobody's going to do anything. It's an assessment. Quick assessment, you do it. You know what I mean? Matthews?
Can I ask? Hello.
Okay, there was somebody. Yes, go ahead, Matthews. And Ozipo, please take down your hand.
I wanted to ask, because you mentioned something about paying the upfront payment of 45,000. Is the 45,000, they might have answered the questions, but the 45,000, does it include the support staff? And are we paying it directly to CIMA or directly to the support institution so that they can do on your behalf? How does it work?
Thank you so much for that question. For the 45,000, you are right. It's payable upfront. You'll pay to IMAS. Okay. As I said, you can't access the FLP by going straight to CIMA. You have to go through one of the approved resellers of the platform, which are the CIMA tuition providers, right? You pay to us. Therefore, what we're going to do for you, we'll then give you a voucher. Then this voucher, you will use it to register on the FLP program. Okay? On the platform similar to the one that I've just given. You know what I mean? Therefore, we give you a voucher and you will input that voucher on that platform. You're absolutely right. At 45,000, it includes. Therefore, at IMAS, what we've done, unlike our competitors, therefore, they have differentiated themselves in terms of they have an FLP light, you know, okay, and then they have an FLP premium. Therefore, the FLP light, it says we give you access to the platform and that's it. Then their FLP premium, they say We give you access to the platform, but also you have support. We only have one FLP that comes with support. If you pay 45,000 Rand, it will give you access to the CIMA platform, but also it enables you to get support from IMAS, to attend IMAS lectures for that one level. When you pay the 75,000, it gives you and then access to the entire FLP platform, and it gives you support for 2 levels. If you're starting at management level, it will support you. If you need to go to strategic level, it will support you. If you 845,000 in starting at management level, we support you for management level. But when you need now to go to strategic level, there will be an additional fee just for that support. Okay, that's what you need to really understand. I hope it makes sense.
Thank you.
Frank?
Yes, Nati, can I please, I just wanted to get some clarity on the issue of exams. For example, let's say I'm at the operational level and I'm writing and I'm studying for management accounting, right? How does it work when I do the assessments? After that I do the assessment, would I then need to schedule for the exam and pay for the exam? How does that? I'm a bit confused there.
Okay. If you are on the FLP, there is no exam for the individual exam. You do this assessment. Therefore, since you seem to be aware of P1, which is management accounting, let's say you were doing a topic on absorption costing. You've just covered that topic. And then you do a second topic called marginal costing. At the end of marginal costing, then you'll have an assessment that covers absorption costing and marginal costing. You understand? Therefore, that is the exam in essence. You know what I mean? Therefore, just 3-4 questions, then you're done. You move to the next topic. Let's say the next topic was standard costing. Do standard costing, then there's a mini assessment. You do that assessment, and you move to the next topic. How it works.
Okay, so for management accounting as a whole, as a subject or as a unit, I would still need to write an overall exam.
No, there's no exam, brother.
No, I'm not for the FLP, for the normal.
Oh, if you are on the standard route, yes, you'll write one exam, which has 60 questions in 90 minutes, and they are largely multiple choice, yes.
All right, or so I would need to schedule for it and pay for it.
Yes, therefore, if I may just show you quickly, if you, okay, let me open the timetable. Many of you guys may have seen the timetable on our page, but I just want to give you an idea of how the timetable looks like so that you have a good understanding of how we've structured the classes. Second semester. Once the timetable is opening, let's share the screen. Here's the timetable. So let's look at operational level, because we're talking about operational level. So now, this is how the timetable looks like. Classes begins on the 4th for those who are doing midweek classes, but for those who are attending on weekends, their classes will start on the 9th because they're on Saturday. So we run the classes. We'll see we've broken them into 2. So there's the first term, therefore they run until the 7th of August. Therefore, they will see that one of the classes will be on a Sunday. Okay. And then we take a study break. Then we do a progress test. Then we come back on the 22nd of August to run the classes. We finish on the Sunday of the 25th. So we're done. We've covered the classes. And then there's a study break. Now we start by having the E1 revision. Therefore, we have the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And then we make a recommendation that you should write your exam the Wednesday after the weekend of the revision. You see, saying on the 12th, it's a recommendation. We believe that if you write on that a day, having gone through rigorous revision, you should be able to go and pass the exam. Because the longer you delay writing, the harder you make it for yourself. And then what we do, after writing on the 12th of October, then we give you another 10 days. Between the 13th and the 21st of October, okay? Therefore, there's another 10 days plus minus. And then we meet again on the 22nd and the 23rd of October. We do revision for F1, Saturday and Sunday. Then we say you write your exam on the 26th of October. Then from there, give you another 10 days between the 27th of October and the 11th of November. We meet on the 12th and the 13th of November for P1. Then we say to you, you write your exam on the 16th of November. Then you pass. And now we have a break, you know, but by then the case study material is available for you to start preparing to write that exam in February between the 11th and the 13th of February. That is why then we spend the whole of January running a case study workshop. We'll give you material and videos upfront from mid-November to go through, so that when we meet in January, you've gone through all the necessary reading material, you've gone through the videos. Therefore, we start focusing on the exam in January. Therefore, that's how our timetable is structured for every level. Okay, but the difference is that you'll see the same at certificate level if you're doing certificate, right? And then if you're doing management, you'll see the timetable is the same. Obviously, the dates could be different. But for strategic level, because generally there are fewer students, therefore we don't have repeats. You'll see like in the other levels, we have repeats. But for strategic level, what we do, the hardest subject in financial strategy, so we run it on Monday and some Thursdays. Therefore, it's not repeats. It doesn't repeat on weekends. We don't have F3, which is financial strategy, on weekends. And then the other two subjects, we run them on weekends. Therefore, you'll see Saturdays, which is E3 and P3. Okay? Therefore, that's what you need to be aware of. Okay? But in terms of the timetable, we aim to be done by the 23rd of November, so that then now you can write your exam between the 25th and 27th of February. You'll recall us, I spoke about the 3 days window. Okay? Therefore, that's what you need to be aware of in terms of the time. Okay? Any question that needs to be answered? I see Monday's hand is up. Frank, if I have answered you, and Matthews, please, you can put down your hands. Monday, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Kosnat. No, mine is simple. I'm currently doing my operational. I've written my E1, I've passed. I'm left with F1 and P1. But now I'm thinking, if I don't pass, can next year move to the FLP? What will be the requirements? Thanks.
Because you are already registered, my brother, right? You will be, obviously you said if you don't pass, but I know you will pass, right? Therefore, in the unfortunate event that you are unsuccessful, you can transition to the FLP. Therefore, if by then you've only completed the E1, therefore, that E1 material you will be exempted from, which means now if we come back to the FLP platform and you're looking under competencies, these blue competencies here will be marked with this, like this one, you know, the bubble and the tick will be marked because you will not be required to do that. Therefore, the one that you need to do will be the ones in orange and the ones in turquoise, because the ones in orange, they for the E, the one in turquoise, they for the F. That's what will happen. Okay, you don't have to go through again the E1 related material. Will be exempted from it. Are we together, Monday? Thank you. Okay, let's go to, is it Butuhawe? Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, Butuhawe.
It's Butuhawe.
Please say it again.
So, Butuhawe.
Thank you, Butuhawe.
Yes, it's very, I know it's difficult. So, program director, I wanted to ask you this. Like, I'm currently doing my CTA level 1 at UNISA So I have passed I've already did half of it. So I want to know if I can be able to start doing CIMA before I finish a degree now. And if I can be able to start doing it, like, can I get credit, or I'm going to start in higher certificate, or what?
I'm assuming that your undergraduate qualification will be a diploma or an advanced diploma, correct?
It's not like diploma here, it's a BCom degree.
Okay, with the BCom, okay, if you have a BCom, you can be able to start. And if you majored in accounting, I can tell you now, if you come to the FLP program, you are most likely to start at management level. Even if you do the standard route, you are most likely to start at management level. With the BCom in accounting, most likely to start at management level. If you just have to do management strategic, you are a CIMA member.
Okay, Mara, the thing is, like, I haven't obtained that degree. I'm still have auditing and one accounting left that I'm still doing it. So yeah, I haven't obtained the degree. So I'm asking if I can be able to get credit.
Okay.
Without, like,
in essence, your degree is incomplete. Your BCom.
Yeah.
Therefore, normally CIMA doesn't give a credit on an incomplete qualification. However, I will say get in touch with Tabang. Let's have a look at your academic transcript. Get in touch with Tabang. Tabang will share his email. And therefore, let's have a look. Let's deal with your case. Let's have a look at everything that you have done. And then we can take it from there. Okay, but Howard?
Thank you.
Yes, please put down your hand. Matthews, do you have a follow-up question before I take Lonwabo? But Howard, don't forget to put down your hand. Matthews, do you have a question? Don't forget to unmute. If not, can we please go to Lonwabo Stirman?
If yeah, I can go on, Mr. Taylor.
Yes,
so my question is, so with the FLP, will we, if for example I choose to enroll for FLP now, will I be required to write the case studies?
Yes. Yes, okay. Definitely. Everybody writes the case study. The difference is just on how we deal with the individual exams or the individual subjects.
Oh, okay. So there's no exam, there's just assessments, like you said.
Assessments, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Lonwabo, please remind me, what level are you in? Because I think I know you. I've seen you in some of the case studies, right?
Yeah. I'm waiting for my results for the operational one.
Okay, operational case study. Okay. No, we are praying for a good outcome. Thank you so much, sir. Let's go to Sipesihle Kunene.
Hi, Mr. T.
Hi, Sipesihle.
I wanted to find out about the gateway exam for CIPA members.
Yes.
And the fees associated with, and the fees of it. And do I have to do the modules under it, or do I just go straight to the case study?
Okay, let me start with the last exam, with the last question. The last question says, do I need to go through the individual papers? The case study tests your ability to apply in a real life scenario what you have learned from the 3 subjects. Though as a CIPA member, you are exempted from writing the 3 exams at management level. We still, as IMAS, recommend that you go through our classes where we cover the content of the 3 subjects. And I'll tell you why. Some people are CIPA members because they have a degree. And the level of detail covered in that degree may be different from the level of intensity required by the CIMA management case study. Therefore, we make sure that they are not disadvantaged. But secondly, when you look at the subject like E2, it's something completely new that the CIPA member will not have seen. Therefore, it's new content. Therefore, you have to go through it. Though you will not write the individual exam. I hope that is clear.
Yes.
Then now, you asking a question about the fees. You say, as a CIPA member, is there a special fee that you need to pay? Yes, there is. Tabang, CIPA members, how much do they pay? You know?
The total fee, it's 20,850. It includes everything.
Therefore, the CIPA members, what normally happens, I know the number in pounds, there is a Sema registration fee, which is about 425 pounds, which works out to about 9,000 and a bit. That's the first fee you pay. That's, you don't pay the 2.1. You pay that fee, and then for us to give you the classes, then you pay for the tuition. Therefore, hence, then Tabang says it works out to around 20,800. But what Tabang's going to do for you, Sipesihle, Tabang's going to share his email, and then Tabang will ask the finance team to send you a quotation tomorrow so that you can have a better picture of how much these fees are.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Therefore, there is somebody who's asking a question. They say, please don't forget to put your hand, Matthews and Sipesihle. Somebody says, hi, if you are a member of CICA, as in you are an AGASA, where will you be able to start in terms of the level and exams? It depends on your underlying qualification. What qualification do you have? Do you have a degree? Do you have an honors? On the basis of those qualifications, we'll be able to determine where you're going to start. Let's make an assumption that you hold a BCom in finance, financial management, or BCom accounting from UJ. You'll start at management level. That's how it works. Or you've got, let's say, a degree from Tekis in accounting, you start at management level. Unless you became an AGA with a diploma, which I don't think it's possible, therefore you'll start at operational level if you have a diploma. But if you have a degree and you've done accounting, then you'll start at management level. You'll write the individual exams. Somebody says, okay, is there no gateway exam like CIPA? No, not for the AGAs. There is no gateway. Okay, any other question? Kevin or Gavin?
Oh, hi. I just wanted to ask, if you have CTA, where do you start? Do you also start at management level?
Most likely, yes. Start at management level. And somebody is asking on the chat, hi, the exam dates highlighted in red, are they exam preparations for the actual exam that will take place in February? Please clarify. No, these exams in red, they are the actual exams for the individual subjects. In this case of strategic level, you'll see this is an E3 exam. Let me make it bigger. You see, it is the individual exam. What will take place in February? It is the case study exam. Therefore, the ones in red are the individual exams, and they come after having attended the revision on a Saturday and Sunday. Therefore, saying the Wednesday following, you must be able to write the exam. But it is just a recommendation on our side, based on our experience, as we aim to assist you. Remember, the exam, you can write it anytime you are ready. If then come the 19th of October, you are not ready, you don't have to write it. You can schedule it for the 20th, for the 21st. You know what I mean? I hope I have answered the question. Please do indicate if I've answered. Is it Rifumelo? Okay, BCom Financial Management from UNISA, most likely management level. Let me show you guys, and I'll put this link on the chat group. If you want to know what exemptions are you most likely to receive, then you go to your browser. Then you click cimaglobal.com. Okay, just gonna quickly show you. Hopefully you can see my screen. When you come to the Sema page, you go under starting Sema. You come here, you see it says search the database under exemptions. You can click there. And then you scroll slightly down, you go under exemption search here. There we click. And then you come here, you put the name of your institution. Therefore, let's put UNISA. Then you click find. Then UNISA, University of South Africa, UNISA codes. Therefore, you can click there. Therefore, what you will see then are the different qualifications from UNISA, colleagues. Okay, you'll see different qualifications from UNISA. Therefore, you'll be able to choose the appropriate qualification for you. Therefore, there's a PCOM financial management. You know, you can click there, you can click there. You know, therefore it says if you have a PCOM, you see you'll be exempted the 4 subjects at certificate plus the 3 subjects at operational level, including the case study, which will mean you will start at management level. That's what you need to understand. You can all go there and you put the name of your institution. So let me just copy the link and put it under the chat. Oh, let's go. Yeah. Oh, chat group. You can just copy that and you can use it. Okay. Are there any questions, colleagues? Let me see if there are hands up. Okay. Are we all sorted? Are we following? And if your question has not been answered on the chat, just trying to check. Tabang is busy answering. Okay. Okay, colleagues, I'm not sure if there are any other questions that. Therefore, if you are interested in joining the next semester, which is starting with classes on the 4th of November, I'm sorry, 4th of July, as indicated, come to our website, the IMAS website. Let's go there. I'm here, IMAS. imas-sa.co.za. Then here on top, it says apply now. You can then click apply now. Then you can choose the program that you are interested in. For CIMA, you click on apply if you want to do ACCA and so on. You click here. Then as soon as Tabang and his colleagues get your application, and they'll review the documents that you will have attached with your application, and then they will call you, they will take you through the process and what you need to do next. Especially for those of you guys who are keen to join now, we need to factor the fact that we need to apply for exemptions. Therefore, the sooner you can apply, the better. And we are very much looking forward to having you guys joining our classes, whether it's on the standard route or it's on the FLP. And for those who are looking for quotations, you can email Tabang at IMAS and tell him what qualification you have. He will be able to ask the finance team to send you a quotation. And also to indicate if you are registered with CIMA or not, so that we're able to assist you accordingly.
Mr. T.
Yes, sir.
There is a private message that was sent to me here, and the person was asking if a company is going to sponsor them, and given the date today, they might not be able to pay, even if they're interested in the FLP, the amount upfront. So I responded to that one to say maybe they can have the payment latest by the end of July, so we can have some sort of arrangement until the end of July. But
Yes.
they will only have access to things, so you can take over from there.
Yes, no, that's true. If your company will be paying, get in touch with us. Let's get a letter from the company. We will be able to make arrangements for you to be able to access, the FLP platform. Okay. I see you've got old former student from PE, Luvo Fumba. Greetings, Luvo. I see another one from Cape Town, Vuvu.
Hi,
Yes, sir. I picked you up, Luvo. Vuvu, I see you in Cape Town. Coming to this, are you joining the strategy classes, Vuvu?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this block, or you didn't start in the first block?
No,
Okay.
I took a break.
Took a break. Okay, Vuvu wrote a management case study, passed. For now, is ready to start with the strategic, trying to see any familiar face. Lubabalo, are you writing the case study now in August, Lubabalo? Because I know that P2, finally P2 has been overcome.
Yeah, no, I'm writing now. I'm in August.
Okay, cool. I'm sure, speak to Tabang. I am sending out the timetable for the August case study out in 2 days' time. It's coming out on Thursday. Therefore, but the material is ready, Lukabalo. If you need access to the material, because it's the same case study that was available in May, I've recorded everything. Therefore, feel free to get in touch. And my old student, Natim Zobochi from Cape Town, are you sorted? Okay, hopefully Unati is sorted. Rato Masilo, are you all sorted? Any question from you?
No, I'm sorted. I was just interested in knowing what is FLP. So I'm good.
Okay. How far are you, Lirato?
I'm done with the strategic level.
Okay. Okay, because I thought so. Therefore, yes, I was like, Lirato passed not so long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, no, awesome. Cool stuff. Okay, colleagues, if all questions have been dealt with, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you guys for availing yourself. Going forward, feel free to give us a shout. We will be happy to assist you. As Lirato started, I remember started at management level, doing the 3 subjects, went to management case studies, strategic subjects. It is doable, guys. You can pass some of these subjects on first attempt. If money is an issue, don't think about FLP. Just come through, use the normal route. It is doable. People like Lirato have gone through the normal route, and many others as well. You know, you can ask Lubabalo, went through E2, F2, it was a breeze, and then went to write P2, it was a challenge, but eventually he passed. You know, just need to be disciplined. Okay. And then all the best. We're looking forward to hearing from you guys. And I've shared the IMAS number 011-331-7343. And tomorrow Tabang will share with you the presentation and will outline the way forward. If you have further questions, he will be able then to deal with them via email or via telephonic. But best of luck to all of you guys. May you make the right decision to join IMAS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.